I've got another gym fail for you today. Alright, so that's not what this video is about. I want to talk to you today about one particular thing, and I'm going to give you some really helpful tips on how to get this one particular thing that can help you take what you're doing to the next level, and more importantly, can help you follow through and complete what you want to do. How many times have you been doing something? Let's say you're writing a song, for example, or writing a riff or something like that. You do it and you're excited about it, and then, it just kind of remains there. You don't really do anything with it. You have this aspiration, you're like, I want to make this into a song, but it just sits and sits and sits and sits, and you just never go anywhere with it. I mean, this could go beyond guitar playing, of course. This could be like a business idea that you have. It could be, or something that you have had. I know a lot of you have ideas, and a lot of them, but you don't follow through with them. So here's the one thing that you need for that, and it's called micro focus. That's the one thing that you need. And of course you're saying, well, Jason, duh, I know I've got to focus on stuff, but here's the thing, we get distracted. So our focus gets taken off of what we're supposed to be micro focusing on. So I want to tell you some things that can help you micro focus what you're doing so that you can stay on it and you can complete it and you can take it to the next level, because that's what we all want to do. That's what I want you to do. Now, I'm also going to share some insights on this whole motivational thing that I'm doing. I'm calling it MEM, the Mental Inspiration and Motivation. So stay tuned to the end of the video, because I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm doing these videos and kind of like just some other stuff. Just hang around for that. Number one, and this goes beyond just drinking coffee, although, hey, that helps me. There's something like mental about having a cup of coffee sitting in front of my desk or in my studio when I'm doing something. It's like, okay, I'm doing it, But this goes way beyond that, because too much caffeine is probably not the best thing for you. So one thing that I do, and this is going to be an obvious thing that you need to do, but we don't always do it, make sure everything else is turned off when you're doing that one thing that you need to be doing. So, for example, if you're working on a song, okay, if you're working on a new song, a new riff or whatever, or if you're writing, maybe some of you write books or blog posts, whatever you're doing, turn everything else off. That means turn your phone off or put your phone in another room, have the notifications off so you're not getting pinged when somebody texts you or a new update on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Just turn all that stuff off. TV off. Everything just off. Now, there is an exception to this. I know some people work really well when they have some kind of background TV show playing. I was talking to somebody in the gym the other day, and he was like, I have a movie that I'm playing while I'm working, but I'm not really paying attention to it, and I have to make sure it's something I've already seen, but it's just kind of like background noise. So that is an exception. And of course, a lot of you listen to music. Now, if you're writing music, you don't want to be listening to any media at all. So my point here is turn all distractions off, okay? Turn them off or keep them out of that area so you can micro focus on doing exactly what it is that you need to do. Tip number 2 to micro focus, and this is going to revolve around food, guys. Make sure before you start something that you're well nourished before you start that thing. In other words, you don't want to get 30 minutes into something or even an hour into something and you're like, man, I'm making progress, and then that tummy starts growling. You're like, oh crap, I'm hungry. Let me stop and make something to eat. So you stop and make some eggs or make a sandwich or whatever. Then your other half comes home, or the dog needs to go out, or blah, blah, blah. The thing is when you take your focus away from what you're doing, you kind of open yourself up to other distractions, because we all know how life just kind of happens sometimes and it snowballs, and then before you know it, an hour's gone by for you to fix a freaking sandwich. So this is just a real simple thing, guys. Make sure you're nourished before you perform that task that you need to perform. Again, you don't want to have to stop in the middle of it or anything like that. Now, if you like to kind of snack throughout the day, just have your snacks or whatever you need and your coffee, have that prepared and already there at your desk. I don't eat in my studio here, but when I'm writing, it's usually downstairs by the patio. I'll go ahead and prepare things in advance to have there. So if I do get a little hungry, okay, I can snack on something. Now, on that note, I highly encourage you not to eat something that's just carb heavy and full of sugar before you go to, do your task, because your brain's going to be a little bit more cloudy if you have that sugar high and then you're coming down from that. Again, this is kind of stuff like that's, I don't know, I don't want to say it's just like bland, but sometimes it's things we don't think about, because you guys know what happens. You start something, it's like, okay, well, I need to get up to do something else and blah, 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 and then your focus is just gone. Number 3 tip for micro focus: schedule your stuff. Schedule your tasks. Whatever it is that you're doing, schedule that in advance. Now, my wife bought me a calendar, because I kind of go old school on this sometimes, and I've got a calendar downstairs on my work desk downstairs, and Sunday afternoon, usually I'll write out what I'm going to do that week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. Sometimes I'll write a couple days in advance and not a whole week, and then I'll come back on like Tuesday and write the rest of it. Just depends on what I'm doing, but schedule your task. If this is important to you, you have to put it on a schedule, because if you don't, it probably won't happen. It's just going to be like, well, I'll just get to it whenever. And guys, whenever might work sometimes, but this is one of the reasons why you don't follow through on those things that you want to do and put out there. And I'm not talking about hobbies here. Let me just back up for a second. I'm not talking about, well, I just want to play guitar because it's fun. That's awesome. That's great. What I'm talking about here is the things that you truly want to pursue and get great at and release out there to the world. Again, whether it's a song or a blog post or a book or business idea, whatever it is, you have to schedule it. Now, I know us musicians, we don't like the idea of schedules, because we're free spirits, it'll just come to us when it does. It's, it's got to come from the sky. We have to be inspired, and we have to, have that motivation or whatever just be bestowed upon us. Guys, life doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. And if you wait for that junk to happen, then good luck. You'll probably be sitting here having the same conversation with yourself a year down the road, wondering why you never released that thing that you wanted to get out there. So schedule it. Put it on the calendar. You don't have to get down to the hour if you don't want to do that. I kind of have my AM schedule and my PM schedule. Now, if you're working a full-time job and you got other responsibilities going on and you're limited for time, you may want to schedule it hour by hour, okay? You may want to say, okay, from 8 o'clock to 9:30 p.m., this is what I'm doing. Everything else is off. I've got my snacks or whatever, prepared so I don't get hungry in the middle of it. I guess I bring that point up because I love food. Hey, just being honest. Anyway, put it on the schedule, guys. Put it on the schedule, make it happen. And that's going to help you have that micro focus, because during that time, this is what you're doing and nothing else. MIM. It's like mum. Hey, mum. Hey, mim. Metal, inspiration, and motivation. So here's what I wanted to tell you guys. I know, earlier in the video I said, hey, hang around till the end. I'm going to tell you some stuff about, MIM here. I don't want you guys to ever think that I'm holding myself up at this high level, giving you this inspirational and motivational advice and all that stuff. I never want you guys to think that about me, okay? And this is really not about me at all, but again, I know sometimes you listen to motivational speakers and the Tony Robbins and all these other people out there. And look, those people are great. I'm not knocking them, because I listen to some of those people. I limit who I listen to be honest with you, but there are a couple inspirational and motivational people I do listen to because it helps. But a lot of times we can look at those people as if they're on just this completely different plane. And guys, you know what? That's just not the case, okay? And it's definitely not the case with me. I don't ever want you guys to think that, well, Jason, he thinks he's up here and giving us this stuff as if we're down. That's not me at all. You guys know that, but I just felt like I wanted to reiterate that in this video today, because I'm at the same level as every one of you watching. I know we all have different levels of talent in guitar playing or singing or songwriting or this or that or whatever, but honestly, just as a human, guys, I struggle with the same things you guys do. You know what I mean? I'm a little older. Well, I know I've got all ages watching this, so, and thank you all, by the way, but I'm a little older in the sense that I do have quite a bit of life experience, and what that means is I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, and a lot of times I can share those with you. I have a lot of shortcomings. I've fallen a lot of times, but I can take those experiences and share some of the things that I've learned with you, and hopefully that will make you a little bit wiser, a little bit faster. This particular video I'm talking about now, focusing, having that micro focus. I've struggled with this, and I still struggle with it sometimes today, even taking my own advice that I just gave you guys. These are things that I have implemented that have helped me. But there are times where I still struggle with it, and I kind of had to go back to my own set of rules that I just gave you guys out there, and like, okay, make sure everything's intact so that I'm able to micro focus on this task, because we get sidetracked in today's society. It's so easy to do that with everything coming at us in the information age, So I really hope this video helped you, and I hope this series helps you. I do have a playlist, by the way. This is somewhat of a new series. I think this is like the third video that I've put out in this series. So I do have a playlist. I'll put it up here somewhere, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you're getting something out of these, and let me know if there's other things you want me to cover in this arena. I'd be happy to talk about that with you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Until the next video, keep it metal. I totally almost forgot to do this, man. I was gonna end the video, and I forgot the most important thing. You guys need some metal. So here it is. Keep it metal.